let's look a little bit closer to 30 Kennedy Plaza and where things are with the hotel proposal. Talk to us from the inception. You always thought that that was going to be a hotel space.
You know, that building reminds me of being in Mayfair, London, the old historic buildings. The building was built in the 1800s, and it's got a beautiful charm to it. And because it connects into 100 Westminster Street, I always felt that that could really be good for the main office building that we have at 100 Westminster, and at the same time, the office building could be good for the hotel. But I didn't know if it would be financially feasible or not, because it's very expensive to take an old office building and try to convert it into a hotel. But we feel that we can do about 48 hotel rooms there. I've worked with Citizens Bank, where they're going to, instead of leasing the entire floor, they're going to have half the floor. And the other half, we have a restaurant coming in called Serafina, which there's about 8 or 9 of them in New York. There's 2 in Boston. And I think it would really work well within that concept. And with all the high-rise buildings around, because we're close to the federal courthouse, because we're close to the train station, I think it's a great location. And already we've seen how well the Hampton Inn has done on Way Boston Street. So it all kind of goes together, and I think it will add a great deal to the city.
So how close, or where are you in the time frame? You just had gone to Commerce, said, I need a little bit to help make this work. So explain to us that process and how the state partnered with this.
They have a pretty good program. They're not giving outright money. What they're saying is, because you're going to have a restaurant, because you're going to have a hotel, you're going to be generating more taxes that go to the state. If we don't build a hotel, those taxes won't go to the state. So they're saying that they'll use those revenues of new tax dollars to help pay off a bond to help support this project. And then I have to personally guarantee it to make sure that the state does get paid back their money, which is fine, and they should do that. And I think maybe in September we can start construction. I would like to see it open for December 31, 2018.
So you beat my next question, was where in the time frame are you? Hoping for construction in September?
Yeah, I'd like to start September 2017, and then 2018, December 31, I'd like to try to open it up on New Year's Eve.
A New Year's Eve party downtown. Yeah. And the hotel, a little bit of a family tie?
You know, when I bought the building along with other properties at the same time, my mother read the newspaper that I want to do a hotel, and she said to me, half jokingly, probably half serious, she said, it would be nice if you named that after your mother. I said, oh, Mom, please. And then I mentioned it to my sister. I said, you know, Mom wants me to name the hotel after her. She says, well, that would be a nice thing to do. Well, I never gave it much thought after that, because I didn't think I'd be doing the hotel. If the state didn't have the tax incremental financing program, we would not be doing the project. So then, when things started moving along, I said, gee, this is realistic. I then thought about what my mother asked me, and she passed away just a year ago. And I miss her greatly, and she always felt that because I was well known in the community, my dad was well known in his industry, that her identity should be more than just being somebody's wife or somebody's mother, that she had made a great contribution to the community herself, working with a lot of charity causes, working with Rhode Island Project AIDS and a lot of other organizations. So I said, you know something? I'm going to be a good son. I'm going to do what my mother asked. And so I'm going to name it the Hotel Beatrice, and my sister is going to be working on a history of my mom with pictures and a written history of her, that when people come into the Hotel Beatrice, they'll know who she was and what she did.
And how did you get Serafina, as you said, a restaurant with such a reputation? When did those conversations start? And how did you say, come to Providence and here's why?
I gotta say it, my 26-year-old daughter, Jacqueline, who was interning for me for a few months, was involved in the project, and she came up with Serafina. And she said, Dad, let's try to get Serafina. Then we found out who had the franchise rights, and it happened to be a good friend of mine's business partner in some of the ventures. And then we just connected, they came down, and they thought that the location was great. And we want to have outside dining. We're also going to have dining in the lobby of the main building itself. really gonna make it into something fun and exciting for people to go to, and we wanna make sure that the food's good.
Of course, and so you say construction September, what else do you have to cross your Ts and dot your Is before then?
Not too much more. I mean, we've been able to get our financing. The state's been helpful with the TIF. And now we just gotta start work. I have 2 tenants left on the upper building. We're gonna move them into some other properties of ours. I have to make Citizens Bank have half their space. We have to do work on the outside of the building, make sure it's in good shape, engineer it properly. So I think September's a good time frame.
And you have to gut it, you literally have to gut those floors.
Gonna gut the entire inside of the building, all the upper floors have to be gutted. And I'm working with the Historical Society in Providence and the Preservation Society to make sure that it's going to be aesthetically very complementary to the historic character of downtown.
And the million-dollar question always, what are you gonna do for parking?
Well, I have parking in the immediate area. I have a parking lot across the street, which is next to the arcade. And I also have parking in the basement of my larger building at 100 Westminster Street. So at nighttime, there aren't a lot of people parking in that garage. So that can help this building, help the restaurant, help people that want to stay at the hotel. Plus, a lot of times when people go to a hotel, they don't really have cars either. You know, and Uber is being more utilized today. People are using taxis, and it's near the train station, so people are walking over. So I don't know if I'll have the demand for parking as much, but if I do, I have plenty enough parking to take care of everybody.
Plenty of parking to go around, and you said, you know, boutique hotel, 48 rooms. Obviously a lot going on in the hotel industry right now with we're seeing, you know, over at the Fogarty building, over in the Triangle space. Is this really a niche that this, again, boutique that you're looking to fill?
Well, this will be different than what they're doing, than Procaccianti is doing at the Fogarty building, because he's an extended stay. The Hilton Homewood Suite, which Jim Karam is leading that project, that's an extended stay. This will be more as boutique, a little bit more upscale the rooms, but I want to make it kind of fun too. Your iPhone is going to get you into your room.
Really?
There's not going to be a key. You're going to have your iPhone and that will get you into your room. The rooms are going to be fantastic. They're going to be large. They're going to be a television behind the mirror. It's going to have a lot of different things that make it exciting. But I also want to try to limit the amount of hassle you have to go through, so that if somebody wants to work out, they come into our larger building. We have a great fitness center there. So there's a lot of synergy that can go back and forth.
So what else does the city need now?
And I want to have a rooftop
You're going to have a rooftop.
Facility.
Okay.
Similar to what the Providence G has, maybe a little bit smaller. But I think what the Providence G did was a wonderful thing, because it made people think, gee, let's do more with our properties than just, you know, putting tennis in them.
Well, that was kind of my next question, and it kind of starts to answer, you know, what does the city need? Possibly more rooftop, you know, for folks to go, because it's so popular at the G. But in your estimation, you know, what else? You're focusing, you know, right there on that hotel, but what is needed in this sort of area to really keep things moving along?
City needs to be safe. City needs to be clean. We need to make sure that Kennedy Plaza is a place that's inviting people, not chasing people away. And I've been outspoken on that a lot, about trying to clean up that area. And we're getting there slowly but surely. I wish we'd get there quicker. And it's challenging fighting bureaucracy. But, you know, I've done it before and we'll just keep doing it again.
How much will moving the sort of transportation hub away from Kennedy Plaza, once that's complete, how much of a game changer will that be?
I think it'd be a big game changer, but let me state that we need buses. I mean, a lot of the people that work in our buildings in downtown all take buses, so we need buses. What we don't need is the bus hub in the center of the city. We need bus stops. So when that gets moved over into an intermodal area, where at the old train station rather, I think that'll work better and be less congestive in the heart of the city, and try to bring a Bryant Park feel that they have in New York, and try to bring that kind of feel into the downtown. Programming, having activities at nighttime. Hasbro has been working to put a beautiful playground that they're donating right in Burnside Park. The city council just overrode the mayor's veto to try to say, look, let's make all of Kennedy Plaza into one park, and not have smoking there, because in Central Park, the streets, you can't smoke, and you can't smoke in the grass. Well, the same thing with Kennedy Plaza, we need to be treated as one. Now, some of the business people in my building aren't happy about that, because they like to go downstairs and have a couple of puffs of their Marlboro, but.
But your argument
so
is everyone's treated equally.
Everybody's gonna be treated equally, and that whole area should be treated as one.
So looking at the hotel, how many jobs are we talking, both for construction and then permanent once it's in place?
Well, I think you're gonna see about 70, 80 jobs created on a permanent basis between the hotel and between the restaurant there, and with the new renovations that are going on with Citizens Bank. In regards to the construction jobs that take place, I think maybe around, you could probably see 40 or 50
Okay.
that take place over there. Our company's gonna be doing the construction ourselves, and we're gonna be subbing it out, and I think we'll be able to have a better handle on what has to happen over there by being right on top of it.
And I know we're standing right here, and people can't see, but 30 Kennedy is to our right, and to the left, some micro-lofts approaching completion.
Yeah, Casemead Lofts, it's an office building that my dad bought back in 1966. And we had our offices there. I remember him fixing that entire building up back in 1970, 69. I remember, quite frankly, in 1970, that on New Year's Eve, the sprinklers burst, and he had come down, and he was there all night long. He told me a big lesson. He said, Joe, all of our plumbers, electricians, everybody came out for me at 1 o'clock in the morning on New Year's Eve. He said, you know why? Because we pay our bills on time. He said, and if you treat your vendors properly, you'll pay them on time, they'll drop anything to help you because they want to have a good customer. And I learned that when I was mayor of Providence, when we had the snowstorms. I always paid our snow vendors fast, quickly, because I wanted to get good service from them. We do the same thing here. We're doing about $11 million renovation in that building. There'll be 44 micro-loft apartments. And I think it's going to be another great addition to the city. Next to the Providence G that went through apartments, next to the Union Trust building where it's being made into apartments. So I think Darren Street is going to be a great place for residential living.
And there's so much going on right now. There's scaffolding if folks have driven by. Plenty of folks working on it. What's the estimated time frame, do you think?
That building better be done by November.
Hopes to start construction on the hotel in September. That building, the Casemead Lofts, better be done by November.
But I'll tell you this, why don't we, another week or two, take you and your viewers on a tour.
Little tour, we'll do a little live.
And we'll go through there, and you'll see the kind of work that they're doing. You know, sometimes you shake your head and you say, gee, this building was built so many years ago. How did it stay up? When you see all the old timber and everything. But they're doing a great job. We did a lot of engineering work in there, and that building's going to be, I think, one of the superior buildings that we have in our downtown.
Well, I look forward to hopefully getting a sneak peek tour. We'll take everyone live through the Casemead Lofts, and of course, the hotel when it gets off and running this fall.
Great.
Mayor Joe Paolino, thanks so much for coming in. I know you're off to the races, so I'll let you go.
Thanks very much.
Okay,
See you later.
thank
Bye
you.
now.
Mayor Joseph Paolino was in here talking about the hotel at 30 Kennedy Plaza, going to be named after his mother. Now, just got some, again, estate assistance, and he explained, based off of the tax revenue anticipated from that hotel, he anticipates and hopes to start construction on that in September. Talking about a rooftop bar, 48 boutique rooms at the Hotel Beatrice. So, and then, as we can see here, which you guys can't watching, the Casemead Lofts on the corner of Waybossa and Dorrance. They've been working feverishly to get them finished. He says better be finished by November. Hopefully we'll be able to take you through for a little live tour here with Go Local, get you outside the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center. So stay tuned for more with that.